Oh, I think that any time that you have pressure on you, it's because the expectation's high, because of what you have done in the recent history. So you can never shy away from that, and you can look at it either way. You can look at it as a burden, and only you can stuff it up. But I think at the end of the day, when you're talking about favouritism and things like that, you also have to appreciate the amount of work that goes in behind the scenes from the coaches and everyone to get to that position, and whether it's us, England, India, New Zealand, Pakistan, Bangladesh, I think that the expectation for everyone is all the same, that you turn up and you can win the World Cup. So if it did happen, it'd be a huge achievement for the country. Yeah, absolutely, and we've been really open and clear with that with the players from the start. The expectation of everyone being as flexible as they possibly can be, that comes from the batting order to selection. There's times when you still have to go with a gut feel on a particular player on a certain surface. So you can read a lot into the numbers, but at the end of the day, there's also a lot of experience in our group with the coaching staff, some senior players that will talk about teams and things like that. So there's a lot of experience that sometimes the numbers don't quite add up to what everyone's thinking as well. So then you have to take some calculated risks and a bit of a punt at times on selection, on how you use guys with the ball in particular, and structuring up sometimes with the bat. But I think flexibility is the key, and everyone's been on board with that. There's been no whinging or anything like that when someone's been left out for a specific reason. So I think that's a sign of a really solid group, that you understand that 11 or 15 doesn't go into 11. So there's always a couple of really tough calls each game. Oh, I wouldn't say it's a weakness. I think it's a funny thing about knockout games and finals and things like that, is that all it takes is one or two balls or something to change the momentum of a game. It doesn't mean you had a stinker on the day. It doesn't mean that you're outclassed or anything like that. It just makes it somebody else beats you. And I think if you get beaten on the day, you can wear that. If you fall a bit short here and there, you can wear being beaten by a better opposition who outclass you or outskill you on the day. But I think the great thing with New Zealand is that they fight and scrap every single game, regardless of whether it's a World Cup final or it's a club game. That's a part of how they play their best cricket. And I know under Kane they certainly do fight and scrap for every run in the field. They're a great fielding side. They put pressure on you. They've got world-class players. So it's going to be a good game tomorrow, no doubt. Quite minimal, to be honest. They're both feeling really good at the moment. So if it was going to happen at all, yeah, slightly tempting. But at the same time, you don't want to tempt fate. You don't want to upset the apple cart just for no reason, really. And that also comes down to how they're feeling as well. And they're both feeling great at the moment. I know that they've got no interest whatsoever in being rested or anything like that. And as a coaching staff and management of the players, everyone's really on the same page in that regard to try and keep up our winning momentum and making sure that we're never taking anything for granted in this tournament. No, I really like it personally, and this is only a personal opinion, that I think compared to the last World Cup, when you're in groups, you can sort of dodge teams. For example, we didn't play South Africa in the last World Cup, and they're such a great side, or they were a great side in that World Cup. They were so dangerous and were unlucky not to make the final. But we didn't have to play them at any point in the competition. So I really like the idea of having everyone play each other. It'd be nice to get some more teams in there, but then I think you're looking at a tournament that goes probably a bit too long. So I personally think the balance is really good at the moment.